Hello everyone, Bob here. For today's video, we're going to talk about the new 4K UHD release of Hocus Pocus. This film was directed by Kenny Ortega and it came out in the summer of 1993. It didn't do that great at the box office originally, but it has since become a cult Halloween classic. I know it seems like Freeform is always showing it on their channel this time of year, and especially we get into October. So let's take a look at the Steelbook, and then we will, I'll give you my thoughts on the film. Okay, there's the front with Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy. Of course, they're down here. There's Omri Katz and Thora Birch and Vanessa Shaw's characters standing behind the gates of the cemetery. Of course, the title. Billy Butcherson, and of course Thackeray Binks. I always want to say Zachary, but it's Thackeray, sitting on top of his sister's gravestone. This, of course, is the spine, and the other side. Pop it open. Yes, I have already used the code for anyone that was wondering. And if you pop the discs out, there is the picture artwork behind the case. Then this is the back cardboard piece that came with it. Yes, I keep it with the movie in one of those cases, like what I showed you in a previous video, how I keep my Steelbook cases. Hocus Pocus is one of those films it's had kind of a varied history on its home video releases. I, of course, used to own the VHS a long time ago. The DVD release was non-anamorphic, so that presented its own set of problems. Blu-ray was a step in the right direction. It is a little soft. The picture was a little soft at times. It wasn't the best. For this release, I'm happy to say it's the best the film has ever looked. I don't feel like it's that great of a transfer, but it is definitely a step up over the 25th anniversary Blu-ray, as well, which is the same as the Blu-ray that came out in 2012. But it still leaves some room for improvement, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. It's, like I say, the best it's ever looked. There is detail apparent that isn't. I popped in the 25th anniversary Blu-ray, which is the second disc in this set, and watched it a little bit just to compare, just to refresh before I made this video. There is a little more detail there. The colors are definitely a lot more vivid on the 4K version. Whenever the witches go to fly, some of the wires from the harnesses and stuff that they use to lift them up is a little more apparent on the 4K release than it has been in previous releases. But overall, could have been a lot better, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely because it's a step in the right direction, but it is still, the picture is very soft. It could have been better. Audio-wise, dialogue is clear. The soundtrack comes across the stage very well. This does not have a Dolby Atmos. It just has a 5.1 DTS Master Audio. It sounds okay. This has never been one of those films that's just going to blow you away. There are a couple moments where the subwoofer was quite apparent, but for the most part, this isn't that kind of a movie. Soundscape, though, it was very well done for a non-Atmos track. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It could have been better, but it sounded pretty good for the film. You got to take into account the sound design from the film itself when you're judging the sound. Hocus Pocus, of course, follows the tale of the three Sanderson sisters, Winifred, Mary, and Sarah. And at the beginning of the film, they lure young Emily Binks, and they suck the life force out of her, and that makes them young again. Thackeray Binks, who followed them in an attempt to rescue his sister, is caught, and he is turned into a cat, and that is his punishment for trying to rescue his sister and interfere with him, is that he has to live out the remainder of eternity as a cat, knowing that he couldn't save his sister. At that point, a mob locates the Sanderson sisters, and they are hung and killed, and Winifred, which is the Bette Midler character, casts a spell that will resurrect them with a black flame candle if it's lit on Halloween night by a virgin. Fast forward 300 years later, we have Max Dennison, and he, in an attempt to impress the girl that he likes, him and the girl that he likes and his little sister go to the museum, which is in the old Sanderson sister house. He lights the candle, he brings them back, and the long and the short of it is the witches are back for just Halloween night. They need to suck the lives out of little children with their potion that they did for Emily Banks at the beginning of the film in order to stick around. Hocus Pocus has been a staple at my house ever since it had its original TV airing in October of 1994. I thought it was a good movie as a kid. I still enjoy it as an adult. It's granted it's a little kid. It's a Disney movie, but there are plenty of adult references in the film. It's a fun movie to watch. The music to this gets stuck in your head like crazy, and I just rewatched this, and my wife actually watched it with me, and she had never seen it, and so we watched it together for the first time, and she liked it. She didn't quite appreciate it as much as I did, but I've got, again, the nostalgia factor. I watched it at least once a year, every year, all the way through. And to be a non-Star Wars or Superman or Marvel or not Marvel as much, but Star Wars or Superman or Batman or some of the horror franchises that I really like, I can pick out on this the music and recognize the parts of the music that if I were just to hear the music, I'd tell you what part of the film it's from. That's how familiar I am with this movie. It is one of those that appears on Freeform pretty often in October, and at one time they did like a 24 hours thing of it, just like how TNT and TBS do the 24 hours of A Christmas Story in the 24th and 25th of December. The average rating on Rotten Tomatoes for this film isn't that high. Like I said, this film has definitely developed quite the fan following. While I like this movie, I'm not quite as obsessive about it as I am some of the other films and franchises that I like and follow. But I am going to give this film a solid 9 out of 10. I really like it. It's a cute children's movie that has a nice take on the Halloween holiday. I'll try not to stutter there in the future. I apologize about that. Interestingly, Mick Garris, who directed The Stand for the Stephen King miniseries from the 90s, and did several other Stephen King adaptations, actually was involved with writing this film. So, well, that's all I've got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing to this channel. I try to have new content up daily. It doesn't always work that way, but that is my goal. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter. I try to keep that as updated as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, everyone. And for now, this is Bob, signing off.